So hip hop is my favorite genre of music. It's been a passion, probably 7 years in the making now. I've been actively making music for probably 6 of those 7 years now. Um, so I wanted to do like a hip hop themed series, just like random lists, countdowns, album reviews, and whatnot. So I figured I'd start this series off by talking about rappers I never really got into. This doesn't mean I mean, some of them I think are overrated as well, but this doesn't always mean they're overrated. Some of them are classics. Some are hailed as like some of the crowning points in hip hop history as of now. It's just that I never really liked them and never got into them. Now, please keep in mind, just because I don't like them and I never got into them doesn't mean I don't understand their significance to other people in terms of hip hop, and it doesn't mean that I don't understand the legacy they laid down for hip hop and rap and all that. It's just that I never got into them, and I'll explain. First one on the list, R.A. the Rugged Man. I just never really got into him because of his fan base. Now, this doesn't mean every fan, but of the fans I know personally and some I've seen on the internet. Now, it's the same reason I dislike Hobson, but it seems like the Rugged Man's followers seem to kind of have like a Hobson mentality. They just seem really self-righteous and posh and uppity, and I can't help but to wonder why the reason they think they're kind of on that pedestal. I just also never really got into his music anyway. I always kind of felt like it was gimmicky, like kind of fake deep in a way, but that's just my opinion. Hobson is number two. Hobson, well, I mean, I did bump Hobson back in the day, like when I was 14, 15, and then I turned 16, I just never liked him again. And I think it's kind of just because he makes music that only really seems to jive with 14 and 15-year-old kids. And I don't mean like popular kids, I mean kind of outcasts. I just, now that I grow up, it's just like I don't like, for the same reasons, he's just like self-righteous, puts himself on a pedestal, always bitching about stuff. It's like, you can't really bitch and preach about things if you're not at least offering solutions, I guess. Or you're not doing it in a way that kind of tells a story. Because if I can picture in my head what you're talking about, like that's a one right there. But with Hobson, it just seems to be like a long diatribe of people or archetypes of people he doesn't like, and it just kind of gets old after a while. Now, he's got some deep songs, but I can't remember the last time I listened to Hobson. I remember back in 2015 that album dropped, and I listened to it, and I remember being left with the feeling that it was just absolute shit. Just how I feel. Earl Sweatshirt, it's not that I don't like him at all or anything. It's just like I never really got into his music growing up, and I've tried listening to it too again. It's just something. It just kind of bores me. I don't know why. I feel like I like him, but for some reason I just can't listen to his music. For Luna's, I got 5 on it. Just never got into him. Back in the day, I'd every 2 weeks I'd give myself like a new list of rappers to listen to and try to finish up their discography. And I decided to listen to him, and I got 5 on it like 3 times, and it just wasn't jiving with me, so I kind of left it at that, and I've never listened to any other songs by him. Number 5, 50 Cent. It always kind of seemed a little polished to me. I guess it's just kind of comes off as more like club rap, and it's just kind of that really distinct early 2000s sound that it was just gimmicky back in the day, and I kind of feel like that's the reason why you never hear people like Nelly or 50 Cent really talked about as relevant figures in rap. Number 6 is Kanye West. Um, Now, I don't deny that he's an excellent music producer. It's just I never really liked him as a rapper. I've never really liked him as a person. I will give him credit. I did really enjoy his verse on that part on the Blank Face album. Um, and I do like Father Stretch My Hands Part 2. But I just, every time I listen to his music, I always kind of feel like this sense of confusion. I don't really know why. I don't really get the direction he's trying to go with things half the time. So it's just something I tend not to listen to. Number 7's Drake. I mean, I think that kind of speaks for itself. Just habitual rhyme biter, makes really emotional songs for women, but tries to act really hard. It just, you really can't figure him out. Bone Thugs and Harmony, kind of the same for Earl Sweatshirt. Never really listened to them that much. I kind of found their rapping style a bit annoying for my personal tastes. Yeah. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, number 9 is Twista. Now, I know I'm a Midwest, and I guess I'd be considered a Midwest rapper, but and I know the Midwest kind of originated the whole chopper style of rhyming, you know, where it's like da 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 flow, where it kind of, it's not so much lyrical at that point. It more takes the place of like 16th note hi-hat hits, and it's more rhythmic of a flow. My only problem is I like to kind of listen along to a song and be able to take it all in good detail and picture a story in my head. I'm not really able to do that with chopper rap. It just, I can never do that with chopper rap. It's hard to follow. I don't really like when I have to read lyrics just to understand what the guy's saying, instead of reading the lyrics to get a better understanding of what the guy's saying. Like, if I read lyrics, I'm trying to understand like the underlying tones, the in between the lines type of message that's going on. But with chopper rap, I just can't follow it. That's just me. Eminem is number 10. Now, I like Infinite, his debut album. I don't like anything else. I think I like What's the Difference? That's probably the only other song of his I like. I don't really know. Like, you know, he's got battle rapper origins, and it kind of shows in all of his music. And, you know, it's kind of all about the technique. It's all about the flair. Well, that's good for battle rapping, but for me personally, I don't think that really goes well on like an album. Because you notice when you listen to Eminem, he goes in like these sporadic bouts of just rhyming for the sake of rhyming words. It's just something I never got into. I remember I was 17 and he released a Rap God, and I listened to that, and then I listened to his debut album. And I said, you know, I don't really think this is like legit Eminem. But I do also respect him as kind of being a polarizing figure there for a while in rap and hip hop. You know, making albums like the Marshall Mathers LP or the Slim Shady LP, where he's like chopping bitches up and dismembering them, and he's dissing celebrities, and he's just got over the top music videos. I think his music videos, some of them are really funny. So I'll watch the music videos. I don't really get into the music though. Snoop Dogg. I don't know what it is. I loved him on The Chronic, but other than that, he's just kind of a one-hit wonder with me. I'll listen to Gin and Juice, nothing else. I tried to get into him. I don't know. I don't like his flow. Sometimes his voice gets a little annoying with me. It's just something I haven't been able to get into. Next would be Next would be Lil Jon. For the same reason, he always reminded me of a little bit more obnoxious Lil Wayne. Um, but yeah, his voice just annoys the fuck out of me. And last but not least, and probably the most controversial one on this list, is Tupac. Now, I suffered through this whole fucker's discography, and I made a video just after that a few years back saying Tupac was overrated, and a bunch of people got real shitty about it. I had people threatening to kill me because I didn't like Tupac. I don't like Tupac Shakur. I think he's completely overrated. I think a lot of his fame wouldn't be there if he hadn't died the way he died. And if that theory of him still being alive was not around, I think he would have been seen as more of like Suge Knight's mid-tier bread and butter makers. I feel like had he still lived, I think Dr. Dre probably would have been in the position that he is currently. I mean, not dead, but like at that level of fame. I don't know. It's just hard to follow him. It just seems like I'm listening to two people on the same record. In one moment, he's like kind of almost white knighting with females, and then you'll have a song like 2 tracks later where he's like, "Oh fuck these bitches, I hate these bitches." Like, it just kind of seems so plastic with me a lot of the times. So I like. I don't know, I didn't even like a lot of his instrumentals. A lot of his songs kind of come off and give me this vibe like it's just meant to be like filler material for more serious songs. And that's really what I think about Tupac. His music kind of sounds like those filler songs and albums people kind of forget about. I do like that beat from Picture Me Rollin'. That's probably one of my only songs I like by Tupac. Other than that, I just don't like him. I think Biggie was a better rapper in that beef, and I don't really understand why he's got the position he has in hip-hop today. That's all I really have to say about this video. Next video, I will be providing a list on rappers I think are entirely underrated, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, that's all for now. Until next time.